Is Triple H scrapping a WWE title? Plus, a SmackDown star is teasing a gimmick change, and a Hall of Famer has addressed some WrestleMania speculation. It's all in the wrestling news right now. WrestleMania next week? How did that happen?
My word, Tom.
Live reactions, predictions, 9 pitches, what happened at...
All the stuff.
What WTF's out the wazoo.
Oh, yeah.
All next week for WrestleMania. But in the run-up to it, we're looking at possibly changing a belt design. Or scrapping a belt design altogether.
This comes courtesy of, I believe, a tweet from Jake Scudder from Fight Fans. I've met him. I've met Jake Scudder.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Show off.
He was a lovely man. And he says here, I was really affected. I'm really biased now. And he's 100% true. No, and he's saying that Triple H is apparently not a fan of the Universal Championship design, and he has previously discussed dropping it. This may still happen post-WrestleMania, ahead of or during the WWE draft.
We were also able to discover, says Jack's friend Jake, that the World Heavyweight Championship was being considered as a replacement, but this would not work as it is inconsistent with the rest of the world titles that are currently on the main roster, which is a shame because I love the idea of bringing back big gold.
Yeah, and I understand from a branding point of view, from a marketing point of view, why all the titles look somewhat uniform, but it's the big gold belt. It's a storied... Sometimes stories are more important than marketing.
And herein lies the issue, that the reason that we have the designs that we do have on the WWE belts is marketing. Like it's WWE have this thing now where they like to send out the championships to football teams and soccer teams and athletes that perform
Title-winning teams and people.
And you're basically asking them to wear an advert for your company by having the big WWE logo on them.
Many of the old American football players in America are big fans. They're happy to do it. You see how buzzing they are with the belt. They're like, yes, and they put the side plates on, usually with the logo of the team in question, and it's clever. It is clever.
Oh yeah. So whilst I would love for them to kind of rejig the designs, obviously there's conversations about a certain winged eagle as opposed to a non-winged eagle in favour of, if Cody Rhodes were to win the titles.
Oh yeah, hang on. We never needed to call it the winged eagle ever. It's just the eagle.
Eagles already have wings.
It's just the eagle. Wow, you've changed the game online there.
I don't know about the people that were familiar with unwinged eagles. They should have their hard drives checked. Possible redesigning of the belts. Maybe you know what, Triple H, who is an old school wrestling fan, maybe might find some way of meeting the marketing criteria and creating something that's got a bit of a throwback feel.
Yeah. I wonder if they'd change the design or also the name, because how do you get bigger than Universal? It's the universe.
I don't think you need to change the name per se. I'm all right. When the belt first turned up out of the cold one night, shivering on the doorstep, I didn't like the name. It just didn't click with me.
I think it's even bigger than the world title. It's the Universal.
Universal.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
But I'm all right with it now. I'm all right with it being the Universal Championship.
I think a lot of that might have to do with Roman Reigns and the prestige he's put upon that belt over the past few years.
Quite possibly. So the blue belt, Big Blue, might be getting a big shake-up. Speaking of Big Blue, somebody from the SmackDown side teases not so much a gimmick change, but a gimmick throwback of their own.
Yes, it's none other than that wacky brawling brute himself. It's Butch, who shared a photo of himself when he was the United Kingdom champion in the singlet, very bruiser-weighty, with the caption, "Remember."
Now, we all remember Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. I like to hurt people. We want to be together. Now, Pride of Birmingham became Butch when he got called up to SmackDown, to which everybody who watches wrestling went, "What?
Yeah.
Why have you done that? This is the biggest problem in wrestling." Admittedly, I was one of those. I was like, why are we messing with it?
They made him all silly.
They made him silly. But then, having said that, we went to the show in Newcastle, and there was a big pop for Butch just running rampant around the arena.
Right, yeah.
So I quite like the gimmick upheaval for him. However, turning him back to Pete Dunne, capitalising on some of that aggressive, intense energy that the West Midlands boy has. I think it's a nice little shift up, particularly if maybe the Brawling Brutes might be calling time at the bar. It certainly feels like that might be where we're going soon.
It's a heartbreaking tale, and it's also one of my favourite things on SmackDown at the moment, actually. I think that both Drew and Sheamus have solid motivation for their actions and I just don't know which side to take.
Oh, whose side is he on?
Whose side am I on?
No one know you're talking about.
Getting choked. Sheamus.
It's all eyes on WrestleMania for Sheamus. He, Drew, and Gunter fighting for the Intercontinental title. But there's been a couple of Hall of Famers who've been chatting around WrestleMania. We'll get to two of those in a second. But in the latest episode of the Kurt Angle podcast, Kurt was chatting about his personal and business relationship with The Undertaker. And he was very complimentary of the Boneyard match, saying what I loved about it was pre-recorded. The sky was the limit with what they could do because every spot had been filmed at different times. I think that was brilliant because at the time, Undertaker was coming back and he's getting older. I think they did the right thing. And then he was asked if he'd be open to competing in one of these matches himself. What did he say, Jack?
He said, I could do that. I'd be game for that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do it every year, but if I'm going to do a match, I would want to pre-record it and I would want each spot to come whenever I was ready to do it. And while I don't disagree with what Kurt Angle is saying, I think a lot of what he's saying is true. I'm surprised. I thought Angle would be one of those old school, it's not real. It's pre-recorded. But instead he's gone, it's brilliant because it's pre-recorded.
Well, he respects the fact that with a match like that, you can really highlight some great beats and sort of, push down some of the less so good things, There was a great person that said accentuate the positive and hide the negative. Do you know who that was?
I think I've got a feeling.
It was my best friend Adam Pacitti,
right,
who said that to me.
Was it him?
Yes, he told me that was him that came up with that. Paul Heyman stole it for a DVD. Furious, to be honest with you.
Kurt Angle, anyway. I think that's fair enough. I would be in favour of seeing him in it. I'm not a huge. In the post-lockdown era, I don't know how relevant cinematic matches still are, but I think if anyone could carry it off well with humour and entertainment factor, it would be Kurt Angle.
Would you be in favour of seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin next weekend at WrestleMania 39?
Give me one of those hell yes.
Oh, I'll give you 10 of them. Here they are.
Blood, it's too many.
4,
There's hell
5,
everywhere.
6, 7, 8, 9,
Whoa.
10.
I thought there was only 9 circles of hell.
Oh, no, there's 10, mate. I've added another. Speaking about WrestleMania.
Missed you, Tom.
I missed me too. Several people said I missed you, but then I learned how to shoot straight. Steve Austin was on the Wrestling Classic amid rumours that he was going to be involved at Mania, and he said, I haven't heard anything. We're literally, as we speak right now, about 2 weeks away, and it's the biggest show of the year. I think WWE has got a good roster, as good a roster they've had since the Attitude Era. I don't see Val Venus there. They've got a deep roster, so I think many guys and girls need those coveted spots. They've got plenty of names to draw from, plenty of talent to draw from. I think they should shine the light and the cameras on their current stars.
Now that, up until this point, I thought we'd likely see Austin have another match at WrestleMania. Now that he's brought up the fact that you should spotlight the current stars, not himself, now I think, why would he say that if he wasn't going to be there? If he was going to be there, sorry. I don't think he is now.
There was speculation that there's been a few people that he's been connected with. I think Brock Lesnar a few months ago. LA Knight recently.
That one seems to have been the one with most legs recently, yes. Apparently they're very impressed with LA Knight backstage and the way he's carried himself throughout this Bray Wyatt feud, which hasn't always put himself in the best light on TV, but he's come through it. He's getting big reactions from live crowds, apparently. And, they'd have Austin batter him, but I think that could be a way we'd see Austin without him.
Shine a light on those young stars!
but I don't think it would necessarily have to be a big featured bit of the show. They could kind of sneak it in, maybe.
Yeah, just LA Knight coming out and just calling everybody in LA dummies.
Yeah. How are you gonna have an LA WrestleMania without LA?
Shine a light, bang.
I thought he was gonna feud with The Miz because The Miz is hosting WrestleMania, and I thought LA Knight would take exception to that. We'll have to wait and see.
We will find out. One other Hall of Famer who's teasing some WrestleMania type appearances. Who are we talking about here?
We're talking about your favourite person's favourite wrestler, Mick Foley. Bang, bang.
Bang,
who,
bang.
Teased an appearance, possibly, on not Mania itself, but the SmackDown before WrestleMania. This was Foley speaking on adfreeshows.com.
Yes, he said, on Friday night, I may be a part of WWE programming. Just putting it out there. Sunday, I won't be in attendance. Might watch it at the hotel. I might catch a flight.
Mick, what do you... Don't say anything. We'll be more surprised when you turn up. It'll be really fun.
I'm trying to think in what context he might rock up on the SmackDown before, because obviously we've got a Hell in a Cell match now happening at WrestleMania. I thought maybe you might have Mick come out and go, "Hey Edge, hey Finn, it's horrible in there."
Yeah, he used to do that all the time, didn't he? He used to come out and go, "No, you can't.
Your eyes will bleed and your trousers will turn to treacle. Don't go in Hell in a Cell."
I was about to say your shoes will fly off, but that was Terry Funk, wasn't it?
Your teeth will fly out, your shoes will fly off, and you'll be tossed off for all eternity.
Oh, crikey. Oh, Nelson.
How naughty. More wrestling news throughout the day as we get it at Cultaholic.com. Tonight, my wonderful friend Adam Pacitti will be live streaming 2K23.
My Rise mode.
My rise will be happening indeed when I watch Adam Pacitti on the stream later on.
It sounds wrong, doesn't
today.
it? The mode name.
No, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So, I'm enjoying 2K23. Once again, they've managed to improve upon what was there before. Lots of lovely tweaks, lots of great new features in the game, which we've talked about at length over the past few weeks on the channel. But of course, the beautiful Adam Pacitti playing it later on tonight. That is what you're tuning in for. YouTube.com/Cultaholic/live.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is that. It is that. I'm just concerned, Tom. I'm just a bit concerned.
No reason to be.
Okay.
Everything is great.
Fair enough.
We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.